So, Animated Scrapper, the latest of my finished and released file sets. This guy has been a long time coming. I think I did the first CAD in 2020. There was a first version that I just never printed because proportionally he was all wrong and he needs to be that sort of right lanky and bulky design to pull it off. And then the second version worked, but he needed a lot of reworking because it all was in there, but it was a lot of weirdness. Like the shoulders had a whole sort of hinge forward mechanic to move them 5 millimeters. So a lot of the very weird shit has been pulled out of it. And the result is this fine fella. And I'm as I say, I'm very happy with him. You know, I'm sure there's tweaks you could make. Maybe I could have filled in the backs, but the complexity wouldn't have been worth it, in my opinion. Especially not for what I have managed. So, I'm going to go through the transformation from robot mode to vehicle mode, but I am going to highlight as we go specific mention of the torso. I know people who, when they've been building them, have been saying that how it all compresses up is kind of confusing, and I get that. It's all sort of unfortunately part of the mechanics I needed to cram in there to make the scoop vanish into his torso in the way it does. And I'm very happy with how it works, but I get that it may need some sort of clarification. So we're going to start there so I can show how it compresses back in, and then we'll go to vehicle mode. Sound good? You can't tell me, so you're stuck with this. So, the first step for transformation to vehicle mode, and again, something you want to bear in mind in reverse if you're putting it all together in robot mode, is you want to unclip this. There's a set of tabs on this that go into slots up here. It locks the torso together in the final step. And then you want to push the scoop forwards out of the torso and just unseat it and pull it out. And it does one, and then a second pull out. And then you click that together, rotate it round, bring this down, bring this down. The scoop, come on, stand for me. The scoop, you see there's a notch there. That's because it has to rotate in a specific direction. So you rotate this way. You then want to come in here and pull this out. The lower jaw of the scoop. Position that right. Tip the head into that cavity and then close the whole thing off. And you have the compressed scoop arm. Now, as I say, we'll quickly go over this back into robot mode. So, you want to open this up, rotate it around, push this in as far as it'll go. These are on the teeth are on a pin so that it folds in more naturally. Head up, close it back down, rotate the scoop arm around so it's like this, and so that you have the tab and the slot on the same side. And then you want to break it at this point, hinge this all the way up to cover that, unclip this top section, pull it forwards so that the sort of notch slash, I don't know what you'd call it, compressed bit of scoop of arm folds into the cavity underneath the scoop. And then you have to take all of this assembly. Again, you'll need to try and line up these tabs once you're sort of deeper in. Ooh, there's a pin loose. There we are. You want to keep that in focus. Push this in as far as it'll go. It might stop slightly. You want to push it all the way. There you are. Then you can come to the front and slot the notches on the inside of this into the holes here. And then finally, this can come up, push this in close, then pull it down to lock the whole torso together. And so if you were struggling to assemble the robot mode after printing, that's how it works. It makes more sense in hand. Hopefully this will be helpful. Now, For full transformation to vehicle mode, let's just speed run this first section, pull that down and out, this out at the front, scoop up and scoop off that bit there, out, peg together. Clearly I need to repin something properly. Can do that after this video. You know, 3D printed toys, they're not perfect, but, I mean, show me your alternative animated scrapper. Up, rotate around, pull the scoop jaw out, head down, scoop over it, and we're back where we were just a minute ago. So, the next step is you want to push the arms forwards. We'll deal with those once we get slightly further along. And then, keeping this as far out of the way as you can, you want to rotate the entire side of the torso back and then bend it like this once you get away from the bot mode position and rotate it all the way around until this bottom surface is parallel with that flat surface. See that? There we are. Same on the other side. Fold, rotate, and you have them in this position. Then you want to take this canopy up, get it out of the way for this next bit. So for the arms, take the shoulder pad, it hinges up like this, rotate it around, hinge it back down. It's the vehicle mode position. You want to rotate it at the bicep like this. And then, and this is slightly pernickety again, I'll admit, you want to take these flaps and open them up. Just get a nail in there, but it will come. There we go, there we go. Don't want to fumble too much with my own bloody toy. I should be able to work this one out. You want to untab this, that's important, that sort of locks it together in both modes. And then you want to rotate the fingers like this, and fold the thumb down. Once you've done this, you want to take the whole forearm and fold it into that cavity, keeping the arm guard out of the way. Once it's done that, you can tab the arm guard in, that sort of locks it together. And then you push the hand into that cavity. Oh, sorry, you need to do the hand and then the elbow. Silly me. And then you have that all together. And we'll need to pay special attention to the fingers. So we'll just do the other side quickly. Again, up. Rotate at the shoulder. The arm needs to be all the way down for there to be clearance. There you go. Straighten it, rotate it, get these panels out. There we go, and there we go. Fingers around. Focus. Fingers around, arm guard out of the way. And then you want to push the thumb down. Hand all the way in, fold the fingers down on that side, and you'll see why I say that side, then bring the elbow down and lock it in place with the arm guard. Now, to fit in his big clown hands, you need to do some slightly asymmetrical stuff with the fingers. So, you want one set of fingers to be, so this is in the way. You want one set of fingers to be open like that, and one set to be closed, and then bring the two halves together, and then you can take the canopy on its double hinge, and it will tab into the arms on both sides, and if you've got everything lined up, and I do have everything lined up, then it'll tab together like that, and that'll sort of just hold it in place, and you have the rear of the vehicle. So now we've got the upper, well, the torso / upper body transformed. Come on. There we go. We can do the legs. The legs are a lot simpler. Bring it forward, bring it out, break it, like that. Toe in, flap, open, bend it at the knee all the way down, and then at the back here, you're going to tab that tab into the arse. It's not a firm tab connection, but it's more than enough to hold it in place. Yeah, it only roughly needs to hold it in place. It's not going to be doing much. Up, open, fold, flap, toe. There we go. And make sure it locates in the arse. It already did, because it's roughly correct. And you have your little digger mode. I'm really happy with how this vehicle mode actually came out. It's not perfect, but it's honestly better than I was expecting I was going to be able to pull off. I really wanted to make sure the crane arm was as big as it possibly could be, and that this rear was kind of smooth. It's kind of the wrong colour, but I mean, look at his vehicle model in the show. Where's all that grey meant to come from? It's not a real question. Don't tell me, or I'll have to redo it. You've got the fully posable sort of digger arm. I really wanted to make sure that you got like some play out of that. So a lot of attention went into making sure that all the joints were in the right place and worked. And yeah, there you have your animated scrapper. I hope it's been interesting seeing how it worked. If you're not able to print one, if you are able to print one, I hope this helped with your copy, and I hope you have a good time with your scrapper. If you want to get the files to print your own copy, they will be in the description. Follow me on Twitter, but let's be honest, you probably came from Twitter. This is a instruction video. This isn't exactly a wild ride. But yeah, animated scrapper. I hope that was all in focus, because this is the fourth time I've recorded this, and I need to lie down.